Israel runs Congress. Israel runs cable news. It's super obvious. I'm done with all the lies on behalf of Israel. They donate to 90% of Congress. That 90% of Congress votes for Israel 100% of the time. We are in occupied territory. America does not control its own government anymore.
I don't like this guy at all. I just don't like him. He never speaks the truth. He yells and convinces everybody through his yelling that he's speaking the truth. As if the more you scream, the more truth you speak. And that's not true at all. I came from that part of the world. I know how that part of the world operates. I'm an Iraqi. So I know you're speaking nonsense. Now let's assume that you're speaking the truth. Let's assume that Israel actually controls the USA, the Congress, the media. What's your problem with that? If you don't want Israel to control USA, you gotta let it at least control Israel. But you don't want that too. If Israel controls Europe, you don't want Israel to control Europe. If Israel controls Africa, you don't want Israel to control Africa. If Israel controls Israel, you don't want Israel to control Israel. So basically, you're the same person that did to Israel or to the Jews what he did in World War II, but in modern day, in different way. You want the non-existing of Jewish. You don't want Jewish to control any part of the world, which means basically you're telling, I don't want Jews at all. Take them away. If you know what I mean. You're basically the same person that did the bullshit in World War II in a modern way. And that's if actually Israel controls USA. Now, I can tell you why that's not true. Because if that was the case, I promise you, you wouldn't be on TV. You know very well, when Israel controls Israel, nobody in the media speaks bullshit about Israel. So if Israel controlled USA, you wouldn't be in TV nowadays speaking shit about Israel. Yes, they send each other money. So what? Isn't this the part of being partners? What is it that you want? You want Israel not to exist? And you know very well, if Jewish people lived under the radical Islam, they will be like eliminated. That's it. Like it's the end. That's all. If that's what you want. And that's what I can tell what you want from your accusation. You don't want Israel to control USA. You don't want Israel to control Europe. You don't want Israel to control Africa. Or you also don't want Israel to control Israel. Basically, that's telling people, I don't want Israel to exist. They want to exist. They're less than what? 2% of the population in the world? And they have that much power and they have that much influence. That can tell you something. That tells you that God is standing with them. Like literally, God is standing by these, 5% of the world. They have that much power because nobody would have that much power. Not the biggest religions in the world have that much power. Not anybody else except them. And they're, like I said, maybe less than 5% of the world population. And they have that power. That can tell you something. That God is standing behind them. I'm not telling you that God doesn't stand behind everybody else. No, God is God. But he knows that if they're gone, bullshit's going to happen worldwide. And that is just a fact. We were born there. We know how that part of the world operates. We know how serious that part of the world is. It's not as joke as you are making it look like. And like I said, if Israel actually controls the media in the USA, you would not be on TVs criticizing Israel by today. Because that is a no-no in Israel's social media or TV or whatever media platform they have. Try to speak without yelling at people, because yelling at people or screaming doesn't make whatever you say a fact. That just makes people who have no clue of what's going on around the world believe you. Yes, they will. But they don't know nothing. They don't know anything. They're just ignorant about knowledge of how the world operates. That's fact. That's the bottom line. See you in the next one.